Hey there, so you're thinking about asking your colleagues for help, and probably the reason why you're here is because you want to learn how to communicate better with your significant other or your colleagues. Well, you've come to the right place. Alice, in case you're wondering who I am, and I love teaching about communications and simple life hacks just so you can be better in business and maybe improve your relationships. So let's get started with one of my favorite topics is asking for help. And there's a way to do it without getting rejection or feeling comfortable. So if you stick around with me during the entire video, you're going to learn all the ways that you can ask your colleagues for help without getting rejected and actually feeling okay about it. So let's get started. The first thing to keep in mind when asking for help in the work environment is to be as specific and direct as possible. So instead of saying, hey, can you help me on this project? You say, can you help me format these cells in the Excel spreadsheet by this afternoon or by tomorrow morning? So when you give it a sense of urgency and you're specific on the task, that person knows to do it now rather than later. If you tell them, hey, can you get it done by next week? When? By next week. By Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m., by the weekend. I found it that when I got very specific and segmented the tasks and broke them down and was very direct about it, it was a lot easier. When you are direct and specific, that person also takes you more seriously. You see, it works like this because that person actually trusts you. You know what you're talking about. You know what you want and what you need. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing is make it easy for them to help you. I've known this happens a lot with my friends and at their job, is that they ask for help and then they make the task really difficult for the other person to understand or to help you. So for example, if somebody says, hey, can you help me open up this account? And meanwhile, you don't have the password and you have to do a password reset and now you don't have your information in order. You don't know where your ID is. That person who's helping you is going to get frustrated because they're like, why don't you just have your passwords in one place? So when you ask for help, make sure that you have all the information that you need to pass on to the colleague so that colleague can actually help you. All right, you got that? How did the colleague respond to you? I'm kind of curious, so leave that in the comment. Also, and the other thing that's important here, number 3, is asking the right time. So have you been in the workforce in that office where you're about to ask someone for help and the minute you get to their desk, they're looking at you like, I'm busy, or they just give you the hand, or they roll their eyes? Don't ask that person for help, or especially if they have a bad day. One of the things I've done is when I'm asking for help, I bring my colleague like a piece of chocolate if she likes it, or I compliment someone, or I offer to first help before asking for help. When you are asking for help, the biggest way that you're actually going to get yes is if you have helped them before. So the law of reciprocity is that you provide a service or help and somebody can do that back for you. If somebody helps you, you can help them. This is kind of like the human condition, and people are more likely to help if they have been helped before. So try actually helping first before asking for help. This is a nice little tip. The next one, number 4, context is important. Providing an explanation that you're comfortable with and giving background information to help them understand what you're asking of them is very important. So I'll give you an example. If you say, hey, can you help me with this Excel spreadsheet? It's important to me because it's part of a project that I'm working on and that deadline I have is on Friday. I spent a lot of time trying to understand how to format cells, and I have also looked on YouTube to help me understand, but I'm really getting stuck on this one thing and it's preventing me from completing this assignment for my boss, and it's really important. In the meantime that you're helping me, is there something I can do for you? That is very effective and direct communication and providing context why you need the help and why it's important to get the help. So that's a good one. This touches upon the next thing is being ready to return the favor. And I've mentioned this before about the law of reciprocity, and I'll mention it again. People are likely to help you if you help them. I know it's what you've learned in kindergarten that you're supposed to help others. If you want help, you're supposed to be kind to others and all that. But think about it. Like, how many times have somebody asked you for help and you had no understanding why it was important, what you were supposed to do? You didn't understand when to help that person. You know, it was just kind of very vague, and they were just like, yeah, it'd be nice if you could help me. And sometimes the tone's passive aggressive, and you genuinely want to help. And even if you don't have time to help, I'm pretty sure that you would help if you knew exactly what you had to do. Guess what? Why should you ask all these questions for the other person to be specific? That's their job to provide all that information. So I get it. You don't want to help in that moment, and that's fine. When you get into the habit of helping others and learning how to help others, you're also in the habit of asking for help and learning how to do that. Tip number 6 is gratitude. So when that person has helped you, show appreciation and follow up. Like, hey, did that project go well for you, and how did your boss respond to that? Is there anything else I could help you with? Or let me know, I'm always here. Did everything work out okay for you? You know, and I think that follow-up is great. And even letting that person know next week, hey, that really saved my butt. You know, I really appreciate you, and giving them a handwritten note, or buying chocolates, or taking them out for a drink or dinner. It doesn't have to be such a big gift, but I like gifts. I think handwritten note is just sweet. We forget how to do that, and it's just really sweet. Or saying something nice, or giving a present like this one. I love this. Wait, what does it say? A friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have, and still allows you to grow. Same goes for helping someone. Helping someone, person is one that knows as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have, and still allows you to help them. The important thing, just so I can close, is that don't feel ashamed to ask for help and give help. Don't tell people that you don't have time to help them, because you don't know when you will need it. I remember I really didn't have this one time I was helping a friend compile documents for a court case, and I really didn't have a lot of time, but we did a barter. I stayed at her place in San Francisco in exchange for me helping her, and it was a lot to take on, a lot of responsibility, but an emotional burden. It really was a lot, just to be day in and day out collecting those documents, and she had trauma, and I lived with her, and it was a lot, but we bonded as friends. And then I remember when I was leaving one of my businesses and I sold my shares, I needed a lawyer, and I couldn't afford a lawyer, and a good one was like $1,000 an hour. Anyway, through a friend, I got connected to this one lawyer, and he helped me 1 year draft a contract, and helped me sell my shares in my company, and helped me kind of like put together a great contract that protected me. And he didn't ask for a dime. And today he's actually one of my clients. Practice yoga together. So I also teach yoga, and I have another YouTube channel, but I'll talk about that later. So I think like that was a $60,000 value, and that person helped me for free. And I think it's karma. I do believe that because I helped my friend secure a lawyer for this legal case by collecting these documents, I was able to win this opportunity of having a lawyer for free. And how many times do you get a lawyer for free? It's not that common. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope this video has helped you understanding how to ask for help from your colleagues, how to get it, and even being creative about the help that you ask without feeling misunderstood or ashamed. So it's really important. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about how to actually ask for help and get a yes. While we covered the idea of asking for help and strategies behind it, this time we're actually going to go dive deeper and really understand how to get that yes, because we're trying to minimize the rejection and we're trying to maximize the benefit of getting help. So stay tuned, and as always, do the best that you can every day, and please make sure to subscribe to this channel. It would greatly help me out. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.